Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed by just the sheer volume of information you navigate daily?
Oh, absolutely. Documents, details.
Yeah.
It can be a lot.
Right. All those documents, all those critical details. What if there was a strategic shortcut to really understanding the vital pieces in, say, a complex stack of paperwork?
That would be ideal.
Well, today we're embarking on exactly that kind of deep dive. We're looking into the essential paperwork involved in an overage claim process.
Which, just quickly, for anyone new, is about claiming surplus funds, often from things like foreclosures or tax sales, government-held money.
Exactly. We're going to take you from that initial agreement with the claimant through working with a mobile notary all the way to the final submission.
Yeah, our mission here is really to untangle that intricate flow of documents, make it seem less like a mountain of forms and more like a clear process.
A choreographed dance, maybe?
Maybe. We'll highlight what's truly important, for your protection and success, and shed light on the specific safeguards built right into the process.
We're looking for those aha moments.
Exactly, those points where it clicks how everything fits together so you feel really well informed, not overloaded.
It's all about precision, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll dissect the core agreements, uncover the crucial role of the notary, which gets pretty strategic, and trace the full journey of the paperwork.
All to ensure a successful claim.
Okay, so let's unpack this and get truly well informed.
Let's do it.
Let's start right at the beginning. The foundational legal document,
Mm-hmm.
the fee agreement. Sounds pretty formal.
It does.
But I found this interesting tactical tip in our source material. It's apparently better to call it something else when you talk to the claimant. What's the thinking there?
That's spot on. While it is essentially a legal contract, right, it outlines what your organization is looking for, what you expect to be paid. It's just much more effective to present it simply as paperwork or maybe forms.
Oh.
It really helps to lower the guard, alleviates that apprehension a claimant, let's call her Sarah, might have about signing something that feels like it locks them in.
Even though
Yes.
it kind of does.
Well, yes, ironically, it does establish a binding agreement, but this just eases that initial interaction, gets them comfortable.
It makes perfect sense. Managing expectations right from the start.
Eh.
So, okay, you're past that initial hurdle, using the term paperwork. What key info goes into this agreement about the organization, Sarah, the funds?
Right.
And I was really fascinated by this specific detail about the language used for the claim amount. Can you unpack that?
Yeah, this is subtle, but really important. It's crucial to use language like approximately for the claim amount, not an exact amount,
Why approximately, though? Why not the number you see on the ledger?
because the actual recoverable funds might be less, probably not more, but could be less than what's shown on that public ledger, that official record.
Okay.
Maybe there were prior claims against it or just the timing, Using approximately manages Sarah's expectations right away.
Prevents disappointment later.
Exactly. And helps avoid any calculation disputes down the road. If you promise an exact amount and can't deliver, that's a problem. This covers those typical small variances.
That's a clever bit of risk management baked into the language.
Yes.
But what if the funds are, like, way less than even the approximate amount? Does that change things?
Well, usually the approximate covers minor shifts. If it was a huge difference, that might signal a bigger issue with the funds themselves.
Right.
In that case, the organization would probably reach out to Sarah, explain the situation, maybe even before recovery. Transparency is key, but the agreement is built to handle normal fluctuations.
Got it. So Sarah's feeling okay about the approximate amount, and she's comfortable with the paperwork. What's next in getting her committed? That mutual agreement section.
So in that part, Sarah agrees to sign and return all the necessary documents back to the organization pretty quickly, usually within 3 days of you asking. Now, typically a notary is handling the overnight delivery back and forth, but this clause really cements Sarah's commitment. It shows she understands the notary is acting for her in that specific task, sets a clear expectation for being responsive.
Okay, commitment secured. Now, the big question everyone has, how does the organization actually get paid? Let's break down compensation. And what happens if you don't recover the funds?
Right. This is crucial. Payment to the organization is completely contingent. It depends only on the actual recovery of the funds.
So no recovery, no fee.
Correct. If no funds are recovered, assuming Sarah didn't breach the agreement or something, your organization eats all the advance costs.
Wow. What kind of costs are we talking?
Well, things like the notary fees, any copies, the overnight packages. For a straightforward claim, maybe $125 to $250 up front.
Okay.
But if the county needs extra stuff, like title work documentation on the property ownership history, that cost can jump. Maybe 175 to 275, or even more, depending.
So you have to factor that risk in when you even decide to pursue a claim.
Absolutely, you're fronting that money.
Okay, so assuming funds are recovered, how's the split work? What's fair for Sarah, but also compensates the organization for the work and, that risk.
Yeah, the thinking here, and what's often suggested, is that the claimant gets the lion's share.
The bigger piece.
Right. Like maybe 60% goes to Sarah, and the organization gets 40% as compensation. It's presented as a suggestion for fairness, builds trust, but ultimately, it's the organization's business decision on the exact percentage.
And what about those costs you mentioned?
Ah, good point. The organization also gets reimbursed for the actual expenses paid out to third parties, the notary, FedEx, copies, that stuff. Sarah essentially shares in those costs, but
Yeah.
only from the recovered funds. It comes off the top before the split or sometimes out of the total pot, depending how it's structured, but only if money is recovered.
Okay, that makes sense. But what if things get messy? Like someone else makes a claim on the same funds, or maybe there's an offer to settle for less than the full amount. How does the agreement protect the organization's fee then? Seems tricky.
It can be, and this is where two clauses are absolutely vital: competing claims and non-circumvention. They're key safeguards.
Okay, break those down.
So if there's a competing claim or, say, a settlement offer comes in for less than 100% and Sarah decides not to accept it,
Yeah.
she still owes the organization the fee based on what would have been recovered if she had accepted that offer.
Oh, interesting. So if there's $10, someone claims $5, Sarah could get the other $5 but says no. She still owes you the fee on that $5 she could have had.
Essentially, yes, based on the terms. It prevents her from just walking away from a reasonable recovery to avoid the fee. And the non-circumvention part. That's critical.
That sounds like what it means don't go around us.
Exactly. Once Sarah knows where the money is, maybe from later documents, she can't just bypass the organization and try to collect it herself without paying the agreed percentage.
And if she tries.
The organization can sue based on the agreement. It clarifies you're only paid on collected funds and reimbursed for costs if money comes in, but it stops bad faith attempts to cut you out.
Makes sense. Protects the investment. What if Sarah decides, hey, I don't want to wait. I'll just sell my right to this claim to someone else for quick cash.
That's covered too, under the claimant's warranty section.
Okay.
Sarah basically warrants or confirms she has the legal right to the funds. If she later finds out where they are and decides to sell or assign her right to, get pennies on the dollar up front from someone else,
Right.
she's obligated by the agreement to tell the organization, like, immediately within 30 minutes is suggested, and provide the documents.
Why so fast?
So the agreement can be updated quickly to reflect the new party involved.
Mm-hmm.
It prevents chaos later when it's time to collect.
Got it. So beyond these really specific strategic clauses, what other standard legal bits are usually in there?
You'll see the usual suspects: limitation of liability. That's a standard hold harmless to prevent lawsuits against you for things beyond your control.
Yep.
Governing law specifies which state's law applies, usually where your office is, makes things clear legally. And language saying the agreement is binding upon all heirs, successors, and assigns, meaning it holds up even if Sarah's situation changes, like if she passes away.
Okay, standard legal stuff to wrap it up.
Pretty much covers the bases.
So the agreement is meticulously crafted, all protections in place. Now, the practical part, how do you get it signed, along with everything else needed? This is where the mobile notary steps in.
Right.
And their role, as we're about to hear, sounds like it's much more than just watching someone sign and stamping a paper. It's quite strategic.
Absolutely critical. And having a clear, concise mobile notary agreement with them is paramount. It protects you and helps ensure they do the job right, securing your payment eventually.
So finding a good notary is key.
Paramount. You need someone reputable who understands the specific process, knows how to execute, get those signatures properly. They're your representative out there. A bad notary can sink the whole claim.
Okay, so where do you find these crucial people, and what does it usually cost?
Well, a service like 123notary.com is a great resource. You can search their directory, find notaries in the state you need.
And the cost?
Typically ranges maybe $75 to $125 for the service itself. It depends on the location, how familiar the notary is with this kind of specific paperwork package. You want someone efficient.
Makes sense. So what's actually in that agreement you have with the notary?
Yeah.
And what specific instructions do you give them? Because I hear the sequencing of documents is absolutely vital here.
It is. The notary agreement spells out exactly why they're hired limited purposes, right? It gives all the details for the signing appointment, Sarah's address, phone, email, the date, the time,
Yeah.
and crucially, it lists the key documents in the package: the fee agreement, the power of attorney, the letter of direction from Sarah to your agency.
The main stuff.
Right. And sometimes there might be a county-specific application form, too, that needs to be included.
And what tools do they need?
Obviously, the notary seal. A cell phone is essential. And interestingly, a digital camera
A camera.
to take pictures of the claimant's ID, like their driver's license. It's for your records, secure data collection, verification.
Ah, okay. So let's get to the sequencing thing. The notary presents these documents. You said it's not just important, it's like non-negotiable.
Absolutely make or break.
What's the specific instruction and why is it so critical for protecting the organization?
Okay, so here's the detail. It feels a bit counterintuitive, maybe, but it's brilliant. The notary must first present only the fee agreement and a document called the fee acknowledgement to Sarah. Nothing else yet.
Just those two. What's the fee acknowledgement?
The fee agreement, as we said, confirms Sarah allows you to collect the funds. The fee acknowledgement just confirms Sarah understands the percentage split, like she gets 60% after fees. It reinforces that part.
Okay, so fee agreement, fee acknowledgement. Then what?
Then the golden rule comes in. The notary must not show or present any other documents, none, until those first two are fully signed, notarized, and tucked away securely in their briefcase.
Wow. Locked down first. Why? What's the big secret in the other papers?
It's simple, but absolutely critical for protection. The next documents, the power of attorney, the letter of direction, any county forms, those often reveal where the money actually is.
Ah, the location.
Exactly. Imagine Sarah seeing exactly which county office holds her $10,000 before she's formally signed the agreement committing to your fee.
She could just thank the notary and go get it herself.
Precisely. The golden rule prevents that. It's like sealing the deal before you hand over the treasure map. Secures your position first.
Wow. Okay. That's a powerful why. Really clever sequencing. So what happens if Sarah gets cold feet at the signing? She won't sign everything, or maybe she starts asking the notary for legal advice. How's that handled?
Good questions. If a signer starts balking, won't sign everything, the notary's instruction is to immediately call your organization, right then and there.
So you can talk to her directly.
Exactly. Allows you to have a conference call, address her concerns. If after that all the papers still aren't signed and initialed correctly, the notary takes everything back, leaves nothing with Sarah.
All or nothing.
Right. If everything is signed, then a copy set is usually left with her. And importantly, about asking for advice,
Yeah.
notaries cannot give any advice or opinions, not about the documents, not their legal effect. They are strictly there to witness signatures, verify identity, collect that ID photo. That's it.
Keeps their role clear, avoids problems.
Definitely. Avoids unauthorized practice of law or conflicts of interest.
Got it. And finally, the notary's done their crucial job. How do they get paid?
Simple. They send you an invoice once they've returned all the documents to your organization. The agreement you sign with them should clearly itemize their compensation, their fee, maybe mileage, any copying costs. It's all agreed up front.
Okay, crystal clear. We've covered the agreements, the super strategic role of the notary. Now let's zoom out. Look at the whole workflow, from getting the package ready to actually getting the funds processed. What are the key prep steps?
Yeah, preparation is absolutely crucial for success. Before anything goes out, you need to be sure that your agreement with the notary is signed and returned.
Right, get them logged in too.
Exactly, and you need to have thoroughly reviewed all the instructions with the notary, especially that golden rule sequencing.
Reinforce the critical steps.
Definitely. Then use a checklist for Sarah's actual package. Make sure all the documents are there in the right order. Fee agreement, fee acknowledgement first.
Got it.
Then the limited power of attorney, letter of instruction. And always, always double check if that specific state needs any special forms. Like Georgia has a specific power of attorney form you have to use. Little details like that matter.
Any pro tips for making this smoother?
Yeah.
Especially if you're handling multiple claims? Seems like a lot to juggle.
Yeah, for efficiency, it really helps to compile a few complete packages of all the required forms in advance. Just have them ready to go.
Pre-assemble them.
Right, so when a claimant like Sarah says yes, you just grab a packet, get the notary agreement signed and back from the notary you choose, and then you can forward the claimant package right to them.
Streamlines the process.
Totally. And using a checklist, maybe one from the resources you mentioned, ensures nothing gets missed. Avoids that last-minute scramble, which is where mistakes happen. It's about building a repeatable, solid system.
Okay, so you get the yes from Sarah, your packet's ready. What's the very next thing you do to get that notary locked down and the signing scheduled?
Immediately, you'd go to that resource, like 123notary.com, find a notary. And a practical tip, try to pick one who's geographically close to Sarah.
Minimize travel fees for them.
Exactly. Minimize their travel fees, which keeps your costs down. Plus, a local notary can often schedule the signing faster. Their director usually has plenty of options.
Good tip. Okay, fast forward.
Yeah.
The signing happens. It goes smoothly. The notary sends the package back to you. What's the final critical step to get the claim actually moving with the county?
Right. You get the signed package back. First, double check that photo ID of Sarah is included. Make sure you have that. Then you take the entire packet, put a clear letter of instruction right on top explaining what it is, and you send it overnight to the correct county office.
Overnight delivery. Why specifically overnight?
Speed helps, but the most crucial part is getting proof of delivery with a signature.
Ah, that receipt showing someone at the county signed for it.
Precisely. FedEx Overnight, for example, is great for this because they reliably collect that signature and give you tracking and confirmation. That signature is your undeniable proof they received your claim package. It protects your whole effort if anything gets questioned later. Don't skip that step.
Makes sense. Cover your bases.
Yeah.
So after all that meticulous prep, the strategic notary dance, the overnight delivery with signature, what happens next? What's the reality for you and for Sarah once the paperwork is submitted?
Well, then it becomes the waiting game.
Ah, how long typically?
You should generally expect processing to take maybe 60 to 90 days, assuming there are no problems or complications with the claim.
And if there are problems?
You'll usually get a letter back from the county detailing the issue. That gives you a chance to research whatever the problem is and figure out how to overcome it. But yeah, that initial processing period requires patience, and it's where having kept meticulous records really pays off.
Okay, so patience is key after all that work.
Definitely.
We have certainly navigated the intricate world of overage claim paperwork today, from the strategic wording in that fee agreement right through to the precise, almost dance-like choreography of the notary's presentation.
It really is a complex dance, isn't it? But knowing each step and why each step is there makes a huge difference in actually securing those funds successfully.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, this whole deep dive really underscores how seemingly small details, like using approximately instead of exact or the exact order documents are shown, how they can have these profound impacts on the security and the ultimate success of the entire process.
It's really a testament, I think, to how clear structure and just meticulous attention to detail end up protecting everyone involved, the claimant and the organization. It turns what could be chaos into a predictable, effective system.
And that really raises an important question for you, our listener, doesn't it? How many other areas of your life, or maybe your work, could actually benefit from this same level of meticulous attention to process, to agreement, turning potential chaos into real clarity and confidence?
Something to think about. Until next time, keep digging deeper into the details.